There was a time, I will admit, a while back, I don't know when, decades. And I think when you come out of your youth, you go through various transitions of your life. One of the best parts, I think, of being kind of an adolescent. There we go. You want to fight and rebel, so to speak. You know what I mean? You sort of fight against convention, and you don't really fight against your parents, but you know that you're smarter, and you feel smarter, and that's why it's important for kids to always maintain their level of confidence. You want your kids to feel like, you're really smart, and you have to let your kids get away with something every now and then. You got to let them get away with it. You want them to appreciate and know how good it feels to outsmart the man, and you're the man. Remember that in the 60s? The man was the government, the heat, the bulls. I remember talking about the pigs, which was a terrible word, but they would talk about the cops, and there was a sense of rebellion. Well, this is when I grew up. This is my thing. And my heroes were all of these wild revolutionaries. And I love the idea that they did something which was just terrific. They just were unique, and they did new music and new styles, and revolution was in the air, and I loved it. It was wonderful. We don't have that anymore. It doesn't exist anymore. We don't have that anymore. You do know that, right? There is nothing. We have complacency, we have ordinariness, and a bunch of big mouths who have been completely possessed by uh, social media. And I know more narcissists, women who I swear to God, these were people who used to be something really important people in their various industries. They don't even have any industry anymore. They don't have any anything. I swear to God, their joy is nothing but looking and acting beautiful and sexy. I can't say this enough to you. You might think that is being trite. You might think like, well, that's pretty rough. Oh, no, 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 no. This is something. I don't think the folks who came up with social media ever even remotely imagined they'd be seeing this. I don't think they ever would. Never. I don't think they ever thought this for a moment. Ever. I don't think so. So I used to think I was really something. I really did. I thought I'm really smart, and I really, oh man, and it's great. It's terrific. It's terrific. It gave me a lot of I think a lot of confidence to do things, because I'm really smart. I can do anything, which is nice to think like that. And then I don't know when it was. I don't I don't know the moment, but I'll tell you now, I'm not smart. I'm normal. They're stupid. Imagine if they took you, what you know now, took your brain and put you in a kindergarten class. And you looked around you and you said, what the hell is this? What are they doing? Now, and you're in a child's body. And you're saying, what are you drawing? What is this stuff with these big hands? Here, let me show you something. Let me draw you this. Look at this. Oh my God, you're so talented. No, you're not. You're a normal person in a kindergarten class. They don't know it. That's all you are. I'm in a kindergarten class. I'm in a world of people who are just, thank you, Spark. Same to you, brother. I'm in a world of very, very stupid people. I happen to have this morning, I'm looking at my YouTube, my iPad, I'm doing my stuff, eating my stuff. And lo and behold, they're talking about Epstein. They still don't get Epstein. It's not about the Bill Clinton. It's about the tape. I've been saying this to the point where nobody even listens to me. Nobody even cares about it. Nobody even listens to me. Why? Because I am an adult in a world of kindergartners. I am an adult. There's nothing special about me. None of the least. I'm just around stupid people. I have friends of mine. I think the dumbest people I've ever met in my life. And these are seemingly on paper some pretty, accomplished. And I wish I could have, I always have these TV shows I want to have. And one of my TV shows, and every day they're different. Like today is called The Stupidest Person in the World. And I bring them on, but they don't know why they're there. But there's a chyron or lower third that says the stupidest people in the world. And it's like, I want you to know what stupid is. And it's not because they are mental, maybe to a certain extent, a little bit of organic, but that's not it. They are incurious. And for the longest time, they have never enjoyed the glory of thinking. Now, today's subject is nothing about Generation Alpha. And it is something which I give to people and immediately, and by the way, take this for what it's worth. And I love all of you. You are a lovely group of people, but I learned so much in particular by listening to what you say and what you write. And that's why anybody listening to this show later on, please go back and read the comments. Read the comments. You want to understand it because this is the best and the brightest in the world. And within this, there's a unique dynamic that happens. When you bring something up, please don't take this wrong. I love you. You know I love you. You know I love you. Okay. Now, there is this idea of immediately dismissing something and finding the smart ass response. I have found, again, please, I love you. What means more to you, what you would rather be than anything in the world, and please, is funny, clever, smartass. Because you live in a very small world. 140 characters on X or Twitter, and a few words here. You don't have a lot of time to develop things. Everything about TV shows, a minute segment, 2 minutes, whatever it is. You want to be funny. You want to be funny more than anything else. It is the most critical thing ever. And last night I saw something which I could not believe. By the way, the reason why I want to do this, and I'm going to be pursuing this, is not because I'm the smartest person, but because I'm the only adult in a world of kindergartners who don't see things. They don't understand it. They don't see it. And not only that, they don't care. Again, I want to show you this stupid couple that I know that I wish I could always say, I wish I could have like a steady cam, like you tell them something and they'll look at you like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't care about this. This is not where I'm not curious. I'm not, okay. What am I talking about? Let's think about this. This is really, really, really critical. Last night, there was a subject which I just brought up because I found it. I said, they're going to love this one. They're going to love this. They're going to love this. This is the best thing there is. They're going to love this topic. Okay, fine. So what is the topic? What is it? For the first time, the UK police or prosecutors are investigating this notion of virtual rape. And it's a very, very fascinating story. And it says that British police are probing the virtual rape in the metaverse. A young girl's digital persona is sexually attacked by a gang of adult men in an immersive video game, sparking the first investigation of its kind and suggestions about the extent current laws apply in the online world. And what of the most important Lionel Nation rules ever is? The law always lags behind technology. Okay. So I thought to myself, my crowd, you, will absolutely love this topic because it will necessarily involve your asking, what is victimization? What is the subject matter of what is how do I say this? What is the real what is pain? What is psychic trauma? What is an event? Now, Sparky says, what was she wearing? An attempt at humor or an attempt at exposing, very interesting, this thing called using old forms of terrible reactions where there would be victim blaming and the like, you see? Or it might be just Sparky just trying to be funny. Just trying to be funny, because being funny is the most important thing in the world. You understand what I'm saying? Being funny is critical. Being funny, I'm not saying, I don't know, because why? Because we're only given little fragments, little orts, little glyphs, memes, morphemes, little tiny little chains of thought that do one of two things. First of all, it says, I'm here, world. I'm here. Notice I'm here. There's a way a dog who runs around the periphery of the property that does that, the big bark, these weird Pyrenees, whatever these things are. Hang on. But it shows this a discomfort with deep. And please don't take this the wrong way. It shows a discomfort of deep. Depth is not something you want to be involved with. Depth hurts. Depth hurts. It's not fun. I'm not used to this. This is not where I don't do well here. This is not my thing. I don't like this. I don't like where we're going with this. I want something quicker. I want something quicker. I was flabbergasted, gobsmacked by the inability. And then later on, people said, okay, wait a minute, he's on to something. And immediately it was, oh, that was stupid. That was stupid. That's ridiculous. Well, what about her parents? Did she buy it? Well, missing the point completely. I couldn't sleep. I'm thinking, oh my God, if the smartest people in the room can't scream and say, I see it. I see it. It's like, can you see the hidden? Do you ever see this on social media? Say, can you find the 7 in this? There it is. It's like, why are you doing this? This is clickbait. I found the 7. We don't have that. There's no aha. There's no eureka. It doesn't pay. It's more fun to say, or here's my favorite. That's stupid. I don't watch that. I don't care. I couldn't care less. Oh, I love that one. I don't care. I don't care. And this is the best group. We're doomed. So that's why Generation Alpha, dear God, let's hope to. They're born in 1910. 2010. Yes, they're a bit old. 2010. They might be from 9 years old to like 13 to 9 years old. Now, I don't know where they get these things from. But I would want to get these kids, and this is terrible, but like, how they would always say the Hitler Youth, always go after the kids. I want the smartest, and I want people to think, and I want them to think in ways that the 21st and 22nd century will mandate that you understand. And in order for you to understand artificial general intelligence and virtual, you have to understand the brain, and you have to completely suspend yourself from the usual rigmarole that you're taught. People will talk forever about the devil, this idealized, fantastic, mythological, cartoon-like character that does not exist, but they will talk about it endlessly as being the source of everything. A concept virtually ignored by 90% of the planet. They have no problem with that. If you talk to them about, well, do you know where this notion of the devil came from? They don't want to hear it. They love mythology. Give them a cartoon and they're happy. Tell them what the cartoon means, and they hate you. What is a cartoon? Why are you want to talk about the uncanny valley? You want to talk about that? We don't even have cartoons really anymore. Think about it. Do we have cartoons? No. Do we have cartoonists, political cartoonists? No. Olaf Fad and these guys? No. We have memes. We have memes, and we're going to have AI and AGI memes, which are even more fascinating. Don't tell people what a cartoon means. They don't want to hear anything about it. Americans hate that in particular because they can't think. They don't know. There's no interest in it. I've tried desperately. I'm saying, do you see what's happening with Taylor Swift? Oh, I don't care about Taylor Swift. I don't care. I know. I don't watch. I don't care. I couldn't care less, or I could care less, which is even worse. I don't care. That's stupid. Yeah. And people love to run to the front of the class and say, that's stupid. I don't understand it. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it. You don't get it either. We don't get it. Yay. We're the cool people because we don't get it. We don't understand it. Dear God. In any other culture, you'd say, put these people on an island. Where are the people who do get it? Where are they? This is what I want to know. Where are these people? Where are the people who truly understand this? That's the thing which I want to understand. That's more than anything. That is oh my God. This is the thing which I cannot put into words any more than than what we've seen. I mean, I don't know what how to say this. I don't even know how anymore. I'm supposed to even attack this. I happen to be watching one of the most stupid things in the world, and I'm going to tell you this in a moment. But I want to tell you one thing, and I want you to listen carefully. Listen to me. I have been telling people for the longest time the absolute necessity of preparing for disasters that you can do something about. There are some disasters, well, we're not. If you're on the Pacific coast, tsunamis, I don't know what to tell you about that. High ground, maybe you can build your house on stilts. I don't know. I've got my friends in Florida. When the big hurricane comes, Florida is going to be underwater. But that's okay. That's off. And there's not a whole hell of a lot you can do about that. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you about that. Geoengineering spraying? Sorry. You can stop breathing. But there's something which is critical, something which is so important. And that's the notion of preparing for having in your garage next to these stupid. Have you ever gone to people? I love to go to people's garages. I'm the weirdest. When you go to bathrooms, do you ever look in people's medicine cabinets? Come on. Yes, you do. I do all the time. Don't you see don't you love when you go to a bathroom and they have magazines? Magazines! Magazines in the bathroom. How trashy is that? Magazines? My first question is, you need more fiber in your diet. Because first of all, if you ate the right thing, you wouldn't have time. By the time you pick up the magazine, you are done. That's all I want to say. I've got these friends of ours. Well, they're loaded. I mean to tell you, loaded. Classy. They think they're classy. You go to the John in this incredible place. What do they have next to the toilet? Ready for this? Wipes. Like anal wipes in a bathroom with marble. And I'm going, oh my God. I don't understand how people think. I don't understand. So when you talk to them about, listen, and I mentioned bathroom, I love to go to garages. There's always this, like, it's like, what is this shit you've got here? Well, this is our bike. When was the last time you used this? Why do you throw this away? I don't know. They've got stuff there's a canoe. Are you going to take you don't even live near water. What are you going to do with this thing? You put it on top of your car? Is it even float worthy? No. But if you go to the garage and say, where's your food? Where is your prepared food? What? In the event of an emergency where you have to say, well, you are 1 week. Can you go 1 week? 1 week. Go to the cupboards. Go and say 1 week. Right now you found out, guess what? There's a shelter in place. There's some kind of supply chain breakdown. Nobody's going to stores. There's nothing. Acme, Kroger, Costco, name it, Publix, they're all closed. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do? Tell me. What are you going to do? I don't know. Well, guess what? You're going to be SOL because you could have done something. You could have just had 4 buckets of food that'll last you, depending upon the size, depending upon how you want, depending on how many people in your home, 90 days. Well, here's the best one to get you going. Listen to this. This is called preparewithlionel.com. I'm going to tell you again. It makes the most sense. You could not last a week. I even mentioned days. A week. If all of a sudden there was nothing. Listen carefully to this. They can't handle the truth, but you can. The truth is the clowns running this joint live for chaos. And many of our problems could be solved overnight, but they let them be. Destruction fuels them. If you can handle that truth, you need to visit my website, preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. You'll get $60 off a much-needed 4-week emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. The country's largest preparedness company, My Patriot Supply, is your fighting chance at survival. Sealed inside rugged packaging, these delicious meals last up to 25 years and provide over 2,000 calories a day. Think about that. Eat right in emergencies with this 4-week food kit from My Patriot Supplies. At this low price, you can get one for everyone in your family. Visit preparewithlionel.com. Write this down. Commit it to memory. Preparewithlionel.com. Order by 3 p.m. for free same-day shipping. Prepare right now at preparewithlionel.com. One more time. Preparewithlionel.com before total chaos ensues. What is it that we do to children in particular that cause them to imagine nothing? Well, little Lizzie or Donna or Verkenhunter 4 or Curious Carly, when they were kids, and little Liz was looking out the window, and she was looking at clouds. When we had clouds, now we have streams and streaks, but little Liz Solak would look out the window and say, does that look like a bunny or a giraffe? She was just thinking, reverie, her imagination. Dear Miss Solak, Elizabeth is daydreaming. What? She's daydreaming. Good. Good. Keep daydreaming. Everybody start daydreaming. Start daydreaming. Think. Imagine. Do you understand what happens? I want you to imagine something. I want you to imagine. Let's assume I bring in somebody here. And I have someone who is the enemy. What is the enemy? I don't know what the enemy is. It's the enemy. Okay, I bring him in. Okay. And I sit him down and I say, I'm going to torture him. And you say, whoa, wait. Oh, no, I'm not going to. Physical? No, hell no, I'm not going to do that. What do you think I am? An animal? No, I'm not going to torture them. I got one better for you. We put on a VR in a virtual reality, not augmented reality, but something that, and you say, what's that? And you say, what's that? And you say, that's a VR. but they don't know. They know that they're watching VR. No, they don't. What? Not here. We figured how to get around that. What do you mean? They're not going to say, "Oh, what I'm seeing is obviously manufactured. It's not real." Oh no. See, you're used to some kind of weird. I'm going to show you something. I got a picture. Well, we didn't. He's got 3 kids. He has an 11-year-old, a 10-year-old, and an 8-year-old girl. And we have through AGI and we have created this image of the 8-year-old girl being absolutely ravaged. I mean, I can't even explain it to you, by our soldiers. And we're going to have them watch that. And it's so real, it'll just, and we've got her name and we've got her voice, and she's pleading, "Papa, stop." I'm sorry, I don't want to get into this, but this guy's watching this and he is freaking out. And we have him on telemetry. We have a sphygmomanometer, blood pressure cuff, going through the roof. Dopamine, that he's going nuts. He's sweating. He's sick. He's vomiting. He's screaming, "That's my baby." And you're saying, I'm saying, pretty cool, huh? That ain't real. But he thinks it's real. But it's not happening. Or is it? What? Is it happening? No, it's not happening. I say it is happening. That is happening. Is that torture? Not laying a hand on him. Not laying a hand on him. Nope. Absolutely not. Now, in that particular case, you would say, okay, I understand it. Why? Because it's obvious. Here is a person. He is put in a situation where he's forced to watch something. He is. This is classic brainwashing, menticide. This is some of the most important stuff. You know, Sparky says people should think of their children when considering emergency food. An adult may abide a short famine, but kids need shovels full of food. You know what? Thank you. Sparky, you're onto something. By the way, thank you for saying shovels full and not shovelfuls. Mothers-in-law, not mother-in-laws. Attorneys general. Shovels full. Getting the pluralization of the right word before the the descriptive. Excellent. A very smart man you are. I'm serious. I love that stuff. I could. Mrs. L and I are always doing like grammar. Like, what is this? Some there are some grammar stuff that I have to yield to what is understood, because most people don't speak English. So if I were to say the correct word, it was not he who did what? It sounds weird. Anyway. What I want you to understand is perception and reality. What is it? Now, imagine there is a child, and a child is watching this, and a child is brought to the emergency room, psychiatric observation, because the child has viewed yet again, I sound like Douglas McGregor, yet again, something which freaked this kid out. I mean, bigly. Okay? This kid is freaking out. He had or she had to be sedated. She's got to go through therapy. She is absolutely freaked out. And yet, last night when I first brought this up, people laughed at this because they couldn't understand it, because they cannot grasp the notion of something that's not real, but it is. Do you hear what I said? It's not real, but it is. 2 seemingly inconsistent thoughts existing simultaneously. This is what Marshall McLuhan said. No, Scott Fitzgerald. The sign of a superior mind is being able to handle 2 seemingly inconsistent thoughts. Read the words of A.M. Juiced. Oh, he is wonderful. AM Juice, Juiced Meerloo. This is a Dutch MD, and his books are fantastic. The Rape of the Mind. This is the best one about menticide, delusion, and mass delusion. Read his quotes, brainwashing, thought control in totalitarian states. This was in 1956 when he wrote this. It's the most incredible stuff you can imagine. And I know you kind of, sort of, maybe went through this. Listen to what I said. This is in Menticide. He coined that word. He who dictates and formulates the words and phrases we use. He who is master of the press and radio is master of the mind. I listened to something this morning that was so bloody fascinating. And it was something, and I'm going to tell you where it is right now. And of course, people say, oh, because people love to do that. I could care less. You couldn't care. I don't care. That's stupid. Yeah. Well, did you hear about Taylor Swift? I don't want to talk about Taylor Swift. That's stupid. Really? That's stupid. Why do you say that all the time? Because I feel superior when I say something is stupid. I feel superior. There is something called, there's a fellow named Greg Reese. And Greg Reese has a piece which is so interesting. It's called Trauma-Based Mind Control. And this is from a thing called, he's from Greg Reese on Substack. He's on Banned Video, Alex Jones's. This was absolutely fascinating. But of course, he will be dismissed because he's Alex Jones. And I'm going to read this. This is from Greg Reese on Substack. In trauma-based mind control, trauma, or as Michael Biden says, trauma, is used to hack into the mind and the body's defense systems in order to train a person's behavior. This is accomplished in 3 steps. This is what Reese writes. Number 1, step 1. The victim's identity is destroyed. This is achieved by depriving the victim of their basic needs and inflicting pain upon them until they become exhausted, confused, disoriented. And what have I talked to you about forever? What has it been? Learned helplessness. Any basic, in any kind of psych class, they did it with dogs where you just give up. They become disoriented. They don't trust themselves. They become prone and receptive to guidance from an outside authority. We've seen this in cult studies. Step 2. Through a system of rewards and punishments, this is extinction versus Skinnerian, right? The target, the victim, is basically imprinted with a new identity. And the new identity is trained to self-isolate by having it denounce and renounce and abnegate everything associated with the previous identity. And finally, with step 3, through the continued use of this trauma and this punishment and this torture, the rebuilding of the victim's new self is crafted and maintained however the individual or the mind controller deems appropriate. Now, what I've just told you, you could say, what do you think the Marine Corps is? What do you think that is? Look at this. Thank you so much. Edge Daughter says, Sparky super chats matter, Lionel. You better believe they do. They matter bigly. Uh-oh. I'm sorry. I was reading something. Did I hang on a second? I'm so sorry about that. Did they have a birthday? Was she wearing, or both? Edie says Israel has one thing right: mandatory military. No, not mandatory military. Mandatory service. Maybe best to go. Here we go. My apologies, Sparky. I'm so sorry. I was reading and I did see this. Sparky writes, schools filter out creative, smart people and pass vacuous, obedient people who operate, strictly on rote memory, like the dog jumping through hoops at the circus. Education needs adjustment. Yes, and it needs to be limited. Then you've got your comment on food. We've got that. Sparky, thank you for that. Sparky says, thanks for the compliment, though my correct grammar was likely accidental. Grammar, by the way, is one of those things. Um, it's one of the, and I'm not going to mention the spelling of grammar, which I think was merely just an erratum, as it were. But you're right about that. What do you think the Marine Corps is? The Marine Corps. Do you ever see, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir? That is classic mind control. Classic. And you need automatons in military service. You don't want individual creative thinkers. You don't want this. You don't want any of this. Now, what I'm telling you right now is something, I got to tell you this story. You're going to love this. I have a friend of mine, dear friend of mine, good guy. Okay. Look at this one. Give me the child till he's 7 and I'll give you the man. Jesuit order. With all due respects, Ajanti, after having been, I guess, I don't know if that matters, 4 years of a Jesuit high school, it completely destroyed all of whatever inclination I had towards religion, number one. Number two, it created and absolutely encouraged the rebellious side of me. And I've asked all my friends, I said, did you ever hear anybody? Now, I'm not talking about the days of the Borgias and kind of this weird, Venetian conspiracies and these others and, the papacy. I said, did you ever hear anything? No. So as far as the Jesuits go at a higher order, I can't. Well, look at this Pope. But I'm saying thank you for the Jesuit order, ad majorem Dei, for the greater glory of God, Ignatius Loyola, because it turned me off completely. What if there was a spark, and maybe I was going through it, concomitantly, but if there was a spark of my hope for ever grasping the notion of God, it was killed during my Jesuit education, because they always said, think for yourself. Question. Well, this was, I first landed there in 71. Maybe it was a different time, so I don't know. And by the way, do me a favor, and I say this with all due respect. How do I say this? And please don't take this the wrong way. You don't know anything about the Jesuit order, about a Jesuit education. You don't know anything about that. I have talked to friends of mine who were 33rd degree kind of Masons, and I swear to you, I'm thinking, I'm not saying at certain levels the Masonic order through some kind of Knights Templar Illuminati, whatever, maybe it was, but these people said, I go to this place, he owns a hardware store, he does his thing, but we love him. He's a Mason. Don't you understand? He was a Mason. Oh, shut up. No, I've read this, and the Masons and the Jesuits and the... Listen, you got to do yourself a favor. Many of you great people are addicted to not conspiracy, but kind of weird, like mind control stuff. I like Mirlu. I mean, he will tell you how it's done, but I'm not into jumping into the usual things. Okay. I need a little bit more than repeating the tropes. Liz Solak says, did your emails? Yes, I got your emails. Thank you, Liz. Thank you. I have been extremely backed. I got your emails, and thank you. Thank you for the correcting. And one day I'm going to show you the return address. It looked like, what the hell is this? Anyway, thank you, dear Liz. A good person. Bless you. Okay, hang on a second. There's I want you to be aware of something too. And Liz will I think Liz will verify this. Hang on one second. Hang on a second. I was going to tell you something right now. Before I was going to mention this before, but I forgot because I was so entranced in my own method here. And Liz can verify this. February 3rd, I'm telling you right now, I'm getting all geared up for the cutting room coming back. It's been a while. Cutting room, February 3rd. Doors open at 6. That's the link. Be there. Bring your camera. This is me. It's not stand up. It's not any of that crap. And I'm not going to drop the mic like Dave Chappelle and say, I told you not to record me. Screw all of you. I'm going to walk off. What? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So that's that, February the 3rd. Now, understand something, dear heart. Oh, here's Sparky again. Don't want to miss this. Lionel, Fidel Castro, and Coca-Cola president Goizueta were all Jesuit educated. Coincidence? Yes. Hitler was an altar boy. Coincidence? Not Jesuits. Yes. Some of the greatest despotic leaders of all times were devout Christians. Does that mean anything? No. Sparky, you know and I know. Correlation and cause. Do you all know that when you are in a school, if you were in a Latin American school, in a Latin American country, who were the people who tended to be more educated? The religious orders. Who? There used to be this thing called did you ever hear the benefit of clergy? Did you ever hear the benefit of clergy? Anybody hear of that? That's when you were absolved the possibility of the death sentence. Benefit of clergy. And how did they determine that you were a member of the church clergy? They had you read something because only the clergy read. And of course, they used to teach people the Lord's Prayer, and the people would memorize it. Correlation and cause. No, absolutely not. Do you think, what about all of the wonderful people who went through a Jesuit order and never did anything or actually helped? I know somebody, one of the most incredible stories ever. This is a fellow who went, he was much older than me, but went to my high school. He's a physician, gave it all up, and he opened up clinics in South America to help seriously poor people and opened up. I mean, this guy was like Tom Dooley, this was incredible. A Jesuit. You know, and I know that in order for you to say this person took ivermectin and got myocarditis, does that mean anything? Coincidence? Could be. I don't want you on my lab trial if you say, aha, I've got 3. What's the sample size, Sparky? What's the sample size? How about I take the number of rapists? There's a higher incidence of, let's say, I'm making this up. Okay, just making this up. Of violent rape in people who were in the Army compared to the Navy. So does the Army create rapists? No. What does this tell you? Not enough data. Edie says a one-on-one brainwashing would be entraining or undue influence, as you would know, of course. Well, interestingly, that's fascinating. I'm going to look up that entraining. Let's look this word up. See what I'm doing? I'm looking a word up. Entraining. Entraining, the meaning of this is, entrain means, this is very interesting. It also means to go aboard a train, to draw someone along with, or after oneself. For example, a depression over whatever, entrain the blast of cold air, something that pulls, to transport, to draw in and transport, to suspend. It's very interesting. To entrain, to board a train. Of course, that's not what you mean. Sparky brings up a very good thing right now. Sparky brings up a very, very good point, a very, very important, critical point, and that is simply this: correlation and cause. Correlation and cause. Virtually everyone who was addicted to fentanyl or died started off with marijuana. What does that mean? Nothing. It means nothing. Well, it must mean something. Coincidence? Yeah. or not. Yeah, but they all started with marijuana. Did everybody who started with marijuana end up dying of fentanyl? No. Oh, that's different. No, it's not. No, it's not. You never ask it in reverse. People who watch pornography. Most serial killers. This is my favorite. Most serial killers, the big three: starting fires, arson, torturing animals, and very important, not undenism. Enuresis. Undenism would be urolagnia, which is a different story, but enuresis or bedwetting. Now, do people who bedwet commit serial? No. What about people who are bedwetters and tease animals? Does that cause serial killing? No. What about somebody who teases an animal, Burns, who's an arsonist, and does this? Are they serial killers? No. I've got 10 million people who've lived, all of them who had these three plus other psychological things. They haven't been a serial killer. Well, what are you saying? Well, do you think it's a coincidence? Yes, it's a correlation. Doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Why are there so few black serial killers? Screw. They're always white, 20 to whatever they're always white. Never women. What does that mean? So, does being a man make you a serial killer? Of course not. Does being an African American provide a natural, dare I say, vaccine from serial killing? No. Life is all about figuring out correlation versus cause. I love when people say the crime society went down after we got rid of prayer in school. That wasn't it. That was one of a million factors. Still, coincidence? Yes, absolutely. Some people say there are no coincidences. Yes, there are things that occur, but coincidence means causative, causation, not correlative, not correlation. That's all. That's all. It's one of these things. I remember one time there was if I recall correctly, somebody told me in my high school graduating class, don't ask me why I think, and it was a long time ago, I think I knew of like 2 or 3 people who had testicular cancer. It's not rare, but why would there be this in a relatively small condensed group of people? What does that mean? I don't know. Randomness kills people. You see, Sparky, it kills people. Do you think we're here just by accident? Yes. Do you think we have a reason to be here? No. Do you think that this is all there is? Yes. Yes. Do you think when we die that there's anything? No. Why would I think that? You're hoping that's true. You're wishing that's true. You want that to be true. It's more pleasing to you. It's this whole, heaven and, that I don't have any reason to believe that. Why? Why would you think that? It doesn't make any sense. Do you think there's a hell? No. Why? Why would I think that? You're just giving me this wish and you're saying, well, what do you think about that? I don't know. I don't know. People hate randomness. Hate it. They hate it. You want your life to make sense, don't you? You want your life to make sense. Now, let me stop for 1 second. I'm going to tell you one thing that doesn't make sense to me. And I'm going to tell you this, and I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but it's true. I don't know what in the hell I have to do to get you to understand that mypillow.com is more than just a great place to buy stuff, to luxuriate. It's part of America. You hear what I'm saying? And Mike Linda, and by the way, you go right here. Use promo code Lionel, mypillow.com. You just go to this link right there. Honey, did you see the stuff he's got? It's incredible. Look at this. They've got their Christmas special. My Pillow mattresses, save 40% plus $100 off using promo code Lionel. Get out of here. Ah! How about this? My Pillow toppers, as low as $99.99. Use promo code Lionel. The best sheets ever, best prices ever, $24.98 only if you use promo code Lionel. You got this? My Pillow 2.0, save 50%. The slippers, we gave it to a friend of ours. Opened up the fridge, goes, oh. I said, no. He looked at me and goes, oh, slippers. He wasn't a slipper person. Now they're $59.98 with the promo code Lionel. They were $149, then they were $89. No, it's $59.98. I don't know how long it was. It's a true story. I don't know if it's a day or two. He said, oh my God. Every time we see him, he's got the slippers on. I said, this is, you're wearing a suit. I exaggerate, of course. But slipper, anyway, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. My friends, I want there to be a world where people think about stuff. Let me ask you something. Why do you think that the moon, have you ever seen the moon illusion? It's an illusion versus an hallucination. I think it's pronounced an hallucination. Just like an historical. We can debate that and sparking mind. Anyway, understand this now. Here's the story. When you see a moon at the horizon level, why does it look so big? You ever see that? If you're a photographer, do you ever take a picture of it and you get the picture back? It's like, hey, where's the moon? What is this? This looks normal. Here is the Earth. Okay, now imagine this. Here, this point is the moon. Imagine my finger here is the moon, and it goes like this, and it's always the same radius. I mean, it might be a little closer, but it's always the same radius. But sometimes it looks like it's at the top. Sometimes it looks like it's right on the edge of the horizon. What's going on here? It's the same radius. Why does it look bigger? Because it's an illusion. It's an illusion. And it's not about, the vapors magnify. No. Look it up. Look it up. It's fascinating. It's an illusion. Because what you think you see is not the way it is. And that's that's what we do. We think things, we imagine things, we hope. And when we hope, we create a reality. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's what we do. So going back, what I would hope that the Gen Alpha people would do, and we're always thinking that, we always say, oh, this is going to be the conservative group that loves their family, and yeah. Well, we'll see about that. I don't know. But maybe it is. I don't know. What can I tell you? But what you think you see and what you feel has nothing to do with reality. When you were, when somebody told you of an event, it never touched you. There was no physical event. When a relative died, somebody close to you, and you were traumatized, maybe you were. It never touched you. It was what your mind processed. That's all it was. There was no death. You don't see death. Your brain interprets it. And if I can turn that part of your brain off that appreciates loss, nothing will happen to you. You'll say, Uncle Dave died. Well, aren't you upset? Why? Because I'm not. Because the part of my brain that controls being upset doesn't click on. It's not working. Consequently, if I can tamper with your brain and I can show you, guess who died? The person who was the stand-in for Rue McClanahan in Golden Girls. And they're terrified. They're on the floor, screaming and yelling, can't get out of bed for a week. Why? Because I adjusted it. Somebody they never heard of. Somebody they have no idea. Like, why was this? And by the way, what do you think mental illness is? Mental illness is a nice little way of adjusting those little potentiometers of what we do react to, that normally, remember, the number one, this is terrible. The number one the number one element of mental illness is it annoys other people. Your depression is only interesting to them if it annoys them. If you're depressed and you are doing your job and you come to work, but you're depressed, nobody cares about it. But when you walk around and you're walking around the nude or you're screaming and yelling, then we care about mental illness. Your mental illness means nothing to us unless it affects us. It's the truth, because we're selfish people by nature. And selfishness sometimes I think is a survival technique. Everything that you feel, everything that's mental illness, everything happy, when you're positive, it's not because of this moral character you have. It's the way your brain processes things. It's the way you see things. Your idea of illusion versus delusion versus hallucination versus reality. That's it. And for those of you who say, well, religion is a wonderful thing. Why do you think so many, maybe not now, but in the 50s and 60s, why do you think there were so many priests who were catamites and pederasts and people who were just these horrible predators? Why? Understood and looked, they looked the other way. They looked the other way. Do you understand this? And by the way, let me just go back to something. If you notice the notion of the Catamite, of course, is a pubescent boy who was kept to an intimate relationship for an older male. This is from ancient Greece. So it's not this is not anything new. But why do you think that was? These are people who are ensconced in religion, ensconced in the glory of God, ensconced. Why? Because situations change things. And I'm telling you something right now. And I hope people realize this. And listen to me. I'm sorry. I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings. One of the most demented things you can ever do to a little boy is pull him out of reality and put him in a seminary. That is a prescription for complete and total death. Mentally, spiritually, psychically, you don't do that. You don't do that. You interrupt. General. I'm not going to say anything, but what would you do? What would you do if your daughter came to you and said, I want to be a nun? And you can say, but you're Jewish. No, I'm sorry. What would you do? If your daughter came to you and said, I want to be a nun, what would you do? What would you do? What would you say? Would you be happy? Would you? Would you be happy? Would you say, hey, that's great? Would you? I wouldn't. I'd sit down and say, whoa. Hey, first of all, you're my daughter. I love you. Whatever you want to do, I think is great. But I want to find out what's going on here. It is so irregular to be a nun today. During the 50s, it's like, oh, shit. They're all over the place. Did you ever know somebody who had like a nun? Like, well, my aunt was a nun. Really? Well, my uncle was a priest. Really? Scalia's son, a priest? Scorsese was going to be a priest? I remember one time they asked me, coming out of high school, would you consider being a priest? What? That would have been the funniest thing anybody would have ever seen. I mean, it wasn't proselytizing. It was just like, why we're on this subject. But in 2023, do you think it's weird for a girl in this solipsistic, narcissistic, weird kind of a self-indulgent look at? First of all, is it the fact that this is a wonderful calling? Again, it's their life. They can do whatever they want. But I would sit down and say, wait a minute. Edie said, I went to a Catholic high school and I wanted to be a nun. Oh, Donna says, yes, a brother, a father, we used to call him Uncle Brother. Sister Patricia. You never forget the names of your... Well, see, but Edie, you're older. Again, in those times. One day you got to tell the story about this. I'm not going to say it for you, honey. You know that one nun you had with the... Oh, so sad. I mean, it's not that type, but I mean, but the nuns, sometimes the nuns, look, again, it's a free, look, there are people walking around right now, and I'm, with all due respect, I can take you to parts of Brooklyn, and I can take you to various Jewish communities, Hasidim and Lubavitchers and Orthodox, and I swear to God, if you walked up and say, "Excuse me, do you have the year? What century is this you're living in?" But listen, they don't bother you. They're not out knocking on doors. Do they do that? Do the Christian side? Do they? Or is a Christian Scientist? No, no. Who was it used to come to your? Remember the Watchtower? What was it? Christian Scientist? Not Christian. Who were those people who came on the weekends? Remember they knock on your door? No, Mormons did it, but also Christians. Did you ever do that? You ever have to knock on the door? It's like, oh my God, they're out there! Quick, don't answer the door. Hi, do you know where you're going? What? Jehovah's Witnesses, thank you. Do you know where you're going? Get the fuck out of here. I know where you're going. Always answer the door nude. Latter-day Saints. Yep. Listen, it's a free country. It's a free country. And you can do whatever you want. And by the way, that's not only in this country. See, in our country, and other parts of the Arab world, Middle East, their religion is their life. They're at war. It's a whole other thing. You're not going to extract religion from people. What I'm saying is that I, by virtue of the fact of being born in this country, I don't understand the way these people think. I'm sorry. Okay, I've said enough. I've completely destroyed your perception of reality, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. And I've been talking to you for an hour and 2 minutes. Now, do me a favor. You want to know what you can do for me? Good. You're going to go right now to Mrs. L's YouTube channel, and you're going to sign up right now. She has some of the greatest videos. She is the most devout, speaking of devout and a devotee to making the world aware of human trafficking, child predation, digital safety, and the like. And not like a lot of these other people, in my opinion, these self-styled, kind of like these chicky types who say, isn't it great? It's hard to believe that somebody as hot as me can be out there trying to stop these pedophiles. We're not after pedophiles. Pedophiles is a preference. I don't care why you hurt a child. There are pedophiles who don't hurt anybody. There are heterosexuals who aren't rapists. There are racists who don't do anything. Your thought means nothing to me. Jeffrey Epstein was not a pedophile. He was, and I think, by the way, lowest on the totem pole compared to the real. Who's the number one human trafficker in this country? The United States government. Go to CPS's go around. It's unbelievable. Stop this. The other day, I don't know where this came. Do you understand what chronophilia is? No, I'm wasting my time. Why? Because I'm an adult in a world of kindergartners. I went through this. In any event, do me a favor. Please subscribe to her right now. All right, dear friends, have a great day. We will see you today at 7 p.m. this evening. Don't forget, until then, remember, my friends, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.